Hi everyone, so today we're going to have an interview session to find out the business model canvas for the company Awesome Tribe Service. So we have the founder of Awesome Tribes, the master, the trainer, the speaker, the coach and the consultant of Awesome Tribes, which is Mr. Darren Suresh. So let's welcome him.
Thank you.
So before we start, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Erika Valeriana Pinto and I'm the leader of this group.
My name is Anis Salira, so I am an assistant leader.
My name is Shobla Litko. I'm a community.
My name is Fatina Kisana. I'm the secretary.
My name is Kartheni Mahindran. I'm a committee.
Right, so Uncle, can you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Darren Suresh. I'm the founder and owner of Awesome Tribes Services LLP. So I'm happy to be here. Looking forward to the questions.
Let's begin.
Second section here, which is company background and contacts. So the first question will be, what inspired you to start this company, sir?
What inspired me to start this company is because when I was working in corporate, my last corporate job ended in 2010. My last corporate job was with Singtel, Singapore Telecoms, where I was a senior consultant for the learning and development team. So after I saw that particular thing in the I've been working so many years in organizations, I saw that people don't get the right training. People get training which is given by the company, and sometimes there's a mismatch. So I feel strongly about making sure people have the right skills and knowledge so that they can go to the next level. Because there's a saying, talent without training means nothing.
Yeah.
So that's why I started this company basically in 2015 officially, where I wanted to see, because in the 2010 to 2015 I was actually working in training companies and working with training businesses to see the market, to make sure what I'm doing is the correct thing. And then 2015 officially I started Awesome
When you're
Tribes.
working there, do you have any knowledge for go to the training program?
During when?
During the 2010.
Yeah, before that I was I was in the training industry, doing training already, but under salary. That means dapat gaji from the company. Yeah, so obviously training, but get salary lah. So
Working under someone.
Yeah, working under someone lah. Yeah.
You got experience last time training.
Yeah, my first job I already started to have training experience, but it's more of a less of a sub job. It's not really the main job. My first job was a technician in National Panasonic in Singapore when I was 19 years old. So what happened was that I was always doing maintenance for the machines. Then my supervisors would give me all these production operators to train. Then I was like, maybe I'm a technician, so I have to train all the production operators lah. But then I find that the other technicians not doing it. Then I asked my supervisor, why the other technicians not doing it? Then my supervisor look at me and say, I don't know lah, Darren. You seem natural at this. You seem to be able to train the people. So it became like I got bullied into training, and then eventually it became a smaller, bigger part of my main job, but not the job itself. And then officially went into training, officially under a training title in 2005 as an L&D exec under HR, and this is where I got a salary for being a trainer. But last time I was a manager but kena buat training. I was a this one but kena buat training.
Your company's mission and vision, sir?
I think you see what is a mission, what is a vision? A mission is the end goal. Sorry, the vision is the end goal, because you see a vision, you see something happening in the future. The mission is to get you to the vision, right? So my vision for the company would be to see training done so effectively well by myself, by my team members, by the industry itself, that people are getting the knowledge that they need to go to the next level to become a better version of themselves. My mission to get to my vision is to ensure that we do it well. We do the journey of training happens well. People are the proper people are in the proper places, so that when we get to destination, everybody benefits from it. The participants, the company benefits from it. My people also benefit from it. So that will be my vision and mission for myself.
So what have been your biggest challenges and success to date?
My biggest challenges would be, as much as people are my assets, when I was starting the business, people are also the challenges, right? Until today, people can also be a challenge. Why? Because people come with different personality, character, behavior. So sometimes when they join the company, or they join me, or they come up with me, at first everything was okay. And then after that, I find that maybe it's a mismatch of character and personalities. They tak ngam with the team. They have different intention. So people have come in and left Awesome Tribe very often. That means there's a rotation of, since I started, the people that I have now, maybe 2 or 3 people were the original from the first group. Maybe the first group I had 20, keluar masuk, and then now I have 13. So there was only like maybe 4. Right now, if I look at it, like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5 people from the original, the rest of them new. So there's always a refresh of people coming in and coming out. Because sometimes when they join, and then the challenge was that they thought they want to be part of Awesome Tribe, then along the way they find that no, my directions is different. I want to start my own company also. So they went out. You see? So these are the challenges I face, where people, I can't always maintain the same people. There's always going to be fresh blood in and old blood goes out. So it's like normal.
Everyone is not the
Even
same,
in the company, right? People resign. People resign. So attrition, in HR we call it attrition. So your attrition must be people coming in and coming out. So people going out, and then fresh people coming in. So I'm also facing the same problem, but maybe on a smaller scale. So the challenges has always been the people. The successes also is the people. Because why? I'm very proud to see that some of my people join me as a FSC, and now they themselves can trade. So those are my successes. My successes also is coming to a point where I'm able to run the business successfally, where it is a profitable, it's a profit-making business. So when it becomes a profit-making business, then obviously it equals back to my family being able to be comfortable to a certain level, like that.
Sure. Next. So about the BMC, also known as Business Model Canvas. So we'll start with the customer segments.
The first question I'll be asking is, who are your customers? Are the districts groups within your customer base?
Okay, so my customer is divided into maybe 2 or 3 sections. Section 1 will be corporate clients. So when you say corporate clients, you're talking about companies like Hewlett Packard, IBM Global, talking about maybe even the banks, right? All banks in Malaysia, even our central bank, which is Bank Negara. So these are all under corporate clients. Any industry, it does not defined by a specific industry. It can be from the IT industry, it can be from manufacturing, it can be from government, banks, financial, it can be from the insurance companies. So there's no bias to corporate. Then the other section would be companies which are maybe more GLC and GOC driven. We're talking about companies like Amanah Raya. We're talking about maybe the government bodies like Jabatan, Lembaga. So that's the other things, but they are the smaller portion in comparison to corporate. And then the other one could be categorized under education. Education means universities and any education institute that requires training. So like Monash, Taylor's, MSU, MSU, Utah, So all these universities also there'll be main 3 categories. So this is how we distinctively put them in those 3 categories.
Okay, great. So
for the next questions, what is characteristic that define each of your key customer segment?
Like what I mentioned just now, so the one will be more towards corporate client who may have different objectives, different very profitable level of thinking. That means everything is about business, everything is about making money. And then the other one, distinctive characteristics would be governmental. Governmental is actually more about self-development. It's about going to the next level. It's about getting promotion. What are the skill sets I need? Things like that. And then of course, education may have similarity towards objective of the corporate, because they are also categorized under universities or colleges who wants to make a profit, but particularly for their staff level training. We normally don't do student training because it's handled by the universities and colleges themselves, but we do the training for the academics and also the operations and the administration team. So this is the 3 distinctive things about the customer base.
So the next question will be, what value or benefit does your product or service provide to your customer, sir?
Well, unique benefit of product services. This one is where, because I've also worked in the corporate for many years. I've been doing this for 20 years. So training alone 20 years, been working for 30 over years. So basically what I do is that my unique vision or unique perspective for the organization, where I see things from both ends. I was once upon a time working in the companies, and now I'm not working in the companies. So I give them a very consultation view on what it works and what doesn't work. So the value I bring to the company is that with my experience working so many years, and with my experience as a trainer as well, I give them the perspective of what works in the real world, what doesn't work. So that's how I come into that particular area.
So for my next question is, how does your offering solve customer problems or fulfill their needs?
Well, we would like to say that we solve customers' problems, but I would say that we may not always be the problem solver for the customers, but what we do is that we try to get them to start to see how to solve the problems themselves. It's like a very coaching system. A coach doesn't necessarily solve your problem. The coach gets you to think about how you should be solving your own problem. So what we do is, by providing them skill sets or knowledge of certain models that's actually currently being used in the market, they can take all of this information and knowledge and try to adjust and repair what's not working in their company. Because you see, when they call me in to do training, my training varies from 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. So in a 1 day, 2 day, or 3 days program, you can never change anyone. It's not about change. It's about creating the awareness. If they change, correct? If they change, it's beneficial for them. So that's how we position ourselves.
Next question, Shobha. Okay. Through which channels do you reach and deliver value to your customers?
Well, channels of training can be different. The most obvious one would be the face-to-face interaction. So if you break training down, training has a few categories to look at. Number one, we have soft skills. Soft skills are things like communication, negotiation, problem solving, teamwork, emotional intelligence. So that one falls under soft skills. The other one is team building. Team building is usually, not all the time, but usually for bigger groups. Like for example, the one I mentioned to you, the 400 packs coming to do training. Obviously, when 400 people come for training, you're not so focused on the soft skills anymore. You're more focused on the team. You're more focused on the emotions. You're more focused on the spirit, because 400 people, right? So that's called team building. So team buildings are from small, medium to large groups. And then the other one would be things like IT training. IT training is very straightforward. You're not good in Excel, you come for training, you become good in Excel. Things like that. Then the other one is called technical training. Technical training is certain skill sets that are required by certain companies, like technological based companies, where there's certain models or software that they use needs to be in the company, so they need to get trainers to come in to train on those kind of things. So these 4 categories is how we deliver to the clients.
That's great. So how do your customer prefer to be contacted or served?
Well, those days we always do cold calling. Okay, but nowadays cold calling doesn't work because no one likes to receive phone calls, right? Because people these days, you get a person looking at their phone and strange number, they don't like to pick it up. So normally what happens is that HRDC, right, themselves have a portal where clients can go inside there and see what are the trainings that's available, who are the trainers available, and like a menu, they can pick and choose. They can choose the topic and choose the trainers. So that's how some clients get to know us. The other way is through networking, because we have a lot of networking programs that happen. For example, sometimes we call it coffee with Darren, or not coffee with Karen, coffee with Darren. So we get all the HR people, those who make decisions, to come for this coffee session, and then we do previews. We tell them, hey, come for our preview. Preview means we will show them, we will demonstrate to them certain skill sets or certain things that they need in the company that they find useful, they can engage us further. If they don't find it useful, then they don't engage us further. So that's networking approach. And the other one is actually training providers. Now, I am a company of trainers. I am not a training provider. I work with training providers. They have direct access to organizations and companies, so I work in association with them. Because most of the training providers, they are a sales entity. They go and sell the programs. They don't have trainers, so they outsource the training to the training team. So I represent the training team. So those are the ways that we get to our customers now.
The next question will be, what type of relationship do you maintain with your customers, sir?
Well, relationship-wise can be subjective here. We try to always make sure that our relationship with our customers are very professional. But at the same time, I think people like to learn from people they like. Like all of you are students, you have your preferred lecturers, you have lecturers where you prefer not to go to. So this is where it's the same thing. The same concept applies here. As much as we are professional and we make sure the objectives are something that we focus on, it's good to have a personalized working relationship with the HR managers, with the HR directors of companies, so that they feel that they can also reach you at a human level. One phone call, hey Darren, I got this training I saw you do my training for Panasonic, so my other team wants to come out, can they come out with you? Do you have time? So this is where the personalized relationship happens. So as much as we are professional, it's also good to keep it personal at a certain level. Of course not too personal until like we all suddenly become my family members. But at the same time, because human beings are social creatures, so we cannot just be too cold, send emails, no phone calls, WhatsApps only. We need to sometimes meet up. Sometimes I have to go and meet up the HR directors or managers of companies so that I can maintain. Because you know why? For example, team building is not done every single day. Team building for each company may be done once or twice a year. So I only see these people once or twice a year. So if I only see them once or twice a year, then I wish that they would give me more programs next year. I have to be practical. It may not happen. So what I need to do, when there's no training going on, I have to maybe go out for lunch with the managers so that they become friends. When we become friends, easy for them to ask for things from me, easy for me to get programs from them. So those are the relationships that we have to maintain.
That's great. So how do you attract new customers and keep existing one engaged?
Very good question. New customers, how do we engage? Well, through social media, because I also, as much as I don't like TikTok, but I have no choice. So I also have my team working on putting up videos on TikTok, because as much as we can push it aside, TikTok has the largest organic reach, right? And then TikTok, we also use other platforms like Instagram, like Facebook. And I've seen that social media works, because sometimes when I post things on Facebook, right, what happens is that clients still, the decision makers are still using Facebook as a marketing tool. They start to look, hey, this guy very active in team building, very active in training. Then that becomes a way that the customers reach out to us. And we reach out to them. And then the other one is, how do we get there's new clients. A current one engage is to always come up with new things and be innovative. Example, maybe year one they went out with us and they did team building, where maybe we did like an army style team building, like national service. They come there and they have to wear baju army and they have to run down obstacle course. Then next year we can't do the same. Next year we have to be innovative. Maybe next year we do Squid Games. Which Erica knows, but we use Squid Games. So Squid Games, right? So there we use you see the participant, even myself dress up. Yes, dress up in that. Then maybe next year we do something else creative. Then next year we consistently to come up with something new. It's like, even for me, I feel that if I keep doing the same activities and things of content which I've been using for the past 10 years, I myself will feel bored. Then I'll check a customer. I will feel bored. So consistently every time we come up with new things. In fact, as we speak, my team and I are developing new things to do, or new activities which we try out at a smaller scale, then we make it bigger. So that's how it's always being innovative. Exactly. If you do the same things over and over again and you expect different results, that's the definition of insanity. Right? So you always have to do new things. Right?
New adventure like that.
Yes. So whatever, sometimes we even customize. Whenever the customer might feel, hey, we have been going out with you for the past 5 years. What else do you have? So we can even be as crazy, as creative. Depends what the customer wants. I've done a team building where all we do is eat. We had like a food hunt all around Malaysia where they launch from KL and they go like a treasure hunt, 4 person in the car, and we tell them the route. So the first route from KL, please go to Malacca at this point. We give them the QR code, they go there, they check in, they makan. And then they makan, they all the way to Penang, they back to KL makan. So you know how we judge the winning team? The team that actually puts on the most weight. So we'll measure your weight in kilograms before you go, we'll measure your weight in after you come back, guarantee somebody put on weight. And then that's how we measure the winning team. Yeah, so we do crazy things like that also if you want. So we always must come up with new ideas.
Okay, next.
So next is revenue streams. So how does your business generate revenue? What are your main income sources?
Okay, so I think incomes of revenue can be different. Like for me, the main source still would be training, right? Soft skills training, which is classroom training lah, and then we have team building, which is team building, and then the other network or the other way of other resources come from consultancy businesses. Like sometimes I go into a company and I consult them on things that they need to change in the company for the teams to work better, or sometimes it's like a yearly project or maybe a 6 months project. So that's consultancy business. Then the other one that we also do, which we don't do so much of, is actually sometimes rental of equipment out to people. So we have a lot. I got a whole office full of equipment. So sometimes people come to me and say, "Hey Darren, I want to pinjam your racing car. Can I?" Hey Darren, so we'll charge a premium price for them to borrow. So that could be another source of income. Yeah. So maybe we're looking at 1, 2, 3 main ones and then one on the side. So roughly about 4 channels of income.
Okay, so do you have multiple revenue stream? Can you describe?
Multiple, like what I mentioned, there's 3, 4, so that's considered multiple already. But what we're trying to do, we're always trying to see what other ways of doing it, what other revenue incomes. Before the pandemic, actually the pandemic kind of like messed up a lot of things lah. Before the pandemic, we wanted to even launch merchandising, because those days when we wear our Awesome Tribe t-shirts, the clients will ask us, "Hey, Lawan, your t-shirt, do you sell your t-shirt?" So we thought, hey, why not, right? So we started out to do merchandising, but we didn't get too far because the pandemic came in. So that's where it really hit us, and then everybody went on e-commerce. And you know, if you're not a big player, you get swallowed up by the big players. So we didn't want to get ourselves hurt in that business. So that could be another revenue. But we are now that the pandemic is over and behind us, we are thinking about maybe revisiting other revenue incomes like this. Like maybe we have merchandising online, where we have our products, our branding, and get people to buy. The other one is actually looking at things out of the things that we normally do. There's one idea that we wanted to do was actually to have a food truck. An Awesome Tribe food truck. Like maybe we come to colleges, universities.
What kind of food truck?
It depends. I think that the best food to sell is always local food. Yeah, because if you sell like you sell like burgers and hot dogs, you try to be very American. It doesn't really work with the Malaysian people. You sell macam makanan lauk-lauk, or memang everyone wants to eat it, right? Which is simple food and yet not so high cost, so that we can. So maybe we're thinking of that. But we need to have people who are passionate to run those kind of, because I may not have the time to do everything. So that's why we always trying to recruit people into our group where they may have the passion to run it under our brand. So things like this. So this could be the revenues that we may be looking into more.
Okay, so the next question will be in key resources. What key resources or asset are essential to your business operation and delivering values?
I think here would be very simple. In training, it always will be 2 things. Number 1, training equipments. Okay, because you need to have training equipment. Why? Because of the aesthetic view of training equipment. It's like going for a training, right? And then if you don't have equipments, you are not fulfilling the learning categories of VAK, right? Like visual, auditory, kinesthetic. Why? Because you're just doing auditory, lecturing, and all that. And not everybody can learn by just having auditory. Some people love to see visual things. Some people love to be kinesthetic. So equipment is very important. But before we even go into equipment, we must have content and concept. So for example, there is actually there's several, but I take one activity where if you come to this program, you will see me dressed as a Red Indian the whole day. Okay, so it's called the Lost Valley of Chief Powhatan. So you can see all of us become big Indians. So the concept of it is because we want to get them to feel that they're building up businesses, but actually they're building up in the game. It's like more of a simulation and gamification. So equipment is needed, but before equipment, we always need concept and content. Then we can it gives birth to the equipment. So equipment becoming a very important what you call that asset. The other asset is the people. Okay, the other asset is the people. I always believe in people, so that's why we invest heavily into training people. So people that join my team, many of them joining with zero experience. Now they themselves are trainers. Yeah, they came from the ground level. They become fussy, then eventually become. But it's not a journey that to come today, tomorrow happens. No, it takes a few years at least. Right? Like one of my close colleague, friend, Harjit, he has been with me since 2016, 2017. He started to join me already. Right? Then 2018 and 19, he became more active coming up with us because he left his job and wanted to do this full time. And now it's 2025, he himself is a registered trainer already. So he can run programs and all that. But the journey for him was not easy because he had to balance. You want a permanent job or you want to come? You have to. If you want training, you have to do it full time. Part time, yes, for FASI level boleh lah. But if you want to be an all out trainer, sacrifice is needed lah. So you will let go of an income that is more comfortable and come into a situation where some months you're earning more, some months you're earning less because it's business. Right? Yeah. So people are the other assets.
Okay, so which resources differentiate your business from competitors?
Well, I would say that I wouldn't want to call it a resource, but maybe it is. But I think it's still my people. Why? Because after doing training for many years with the core team that I have, right, I've been noticing that the feedback we always get is that your team is different from other teams. Is because your team loves to engage. Your team has higher level of ownership and accountability. Like for example, I always encourage my facilitators when they come out. They are very young, very new, but for them to eventually own what they are doing. So if they go to a station and we're running an amazing race, for example, and they are managing a station, they must do it as if the station belongs to them. They own it. So when the clients come there, they feel it until to the point they remember your name. Like sometimes when we do debriefing, when we're sharing the pleasure, I remember that station, you know, yang paling telur tu, that particular Fassi, Jimmy, oh my God, he was so cool and mean to us. Sampai macam tu. Then that means you have done your job. They must not just remember me, Darren Suresh, the trainer standing in front there. They must remember my people. So that's what makes us different. Like if you have the experience going out with other training company, you will see, I'm not trying to badmouth them, but you will see many of them don't practice this, where the trainer is the superstar. He or she have to be in front. It's all about that person, and all the rest of the Fassi will become warm bodies. So I don't like that. I like people to come there. They must be a part of the program. They must be able to deliver. So that's why we are different from the competitors.
So the next question is key activities. What are the most critical activities your business perform to successful?
The critical activities, I think, is the business development side, which doesn't happen throughout the whole year because we are having always training back to back. We don't have time. But during the downtime, especially in Q1. So Q1 is January, February, March. Why Q1? Because in January is the beginning of the school year, is the beginning of work year. So things are picking up slowly. And then usually in Q1, usually there's Chinese New Year. So Chinese New Year already got 2 or 3 days off. Then literally 2-3 weeks no work. And then we have fasting month. Then fasting month comes in with Raya. So if you look at next year, right? Q1 is January, February, March. January is fine, okay? But February we have very two important things happening in February. Number one, Chinese New Year. Number two is the start of the fasting month. And then in March is Raya. So these 3 months become a downtime for training because during this time less training is happening. Why? Because people are more focused on the festive season. Because obviously during fasting month, it's not logical and practical for you to do team building. Right? Because team building, whether you like it or not, has physical elements. So people get tired. It's not logical. Unless the company fully Chinese company, then fine. But that doesn't happen often. So during these 3 months, that's when we sit down and we do a lot of development work. So it's only like 2-3 months out of the whole year we have time. So that's where it's very critical. We need to sit down, we need to do the innovation. Hey, we have this game is good. How can we do a version 2? how can we do a fresh new game? Because the
Discuss about your
discussion,
plan,
yes,
yeah.
and also the business plan, not just the development plan. Development means both things like both developing the people, developing the activities, and developing the business. So let's say, for example, we have 10 business partners in 2025. Example, so in 2026, how many business partners more do we want to engage? Another 2, another 3. Nak tambah how? Because business partners are the one that go out to the market and sell the program and block our calendar. Yeah. So now that I have maybe a good stand, let's say, do I want to increase? Do we have the volume to increase? We need to plan the entire year. Why? Of course, everybody wants to increase their business, but can we accommodate the client? Sometimes what happens is that my team is quite big, but nevertheless, if let's say I separate my team, in one weekend maybe I can run 3 programs effectively at the same time concurrently. But let's say new business partners come in and they demand for those dates, that means I need to have 4 or 5 teams going out at the same time. So it's not practical because I may not have the expertise to run those sessions because I only have 3. I can't do 4, I can't do 5 because I don't have the senior trainers at that level to run yet. So we have to be practical. So during the 3 months, that's when we do a lot of these critical activities in development.
So, are there any unique process that vital to your operation?
Well, unique processes, I would say, because we are in the training industry, so we are not governed by a heavy set of processes, policy, and governance. As long as we follow the governance and the rules set by the government when it comes to training, we don't have very critical or vital processes. It's very much run on flexibility and customization. Meaning to say that even though there is a standard way to do a training, there's always a not so standard way to do it, means or unique way to do training. So our uniqueness is the fact that we can have high level of flexibility to our clients and to the market. So that would be why our unique processes could be the fact that we can just be flexible. Yeah. So that's vital for us. If I say our flexibility is stunted, people don't allow us to be flexible, then it becomes very stale. Why stale? Because the same training then is boring, right? So that's why the vital point is to be flexible.
Okay, so the next question will be in key partnership. Who are your important partners, suppliers, or collaborators?
Very good question. So who are the important ones? So number 1 would be training providers. Training providers are the sales entity that sell the program to the market. That means they take my program, they go and market to their clients. I normally don't deal directly with clients. The training providers will deal directly with clients, then they come back to me. So that's number 1, training provider is very important. Number 2 is clients directly themselves, because they are small. Let's say, for example, my business model, I would say that 80% of the time I'm working with the training providers, but there's that 20% where I may be working direct with clients. This is because my friend is the director of the company, my friend is the second guy in the company, so because of relationship he wants me to come in directly, then I will go. So this for personal relationship reasons lah. So that's where the important partners are the training providers. Now you're talking about suppliers and collaboration. Collaboration, yes, we collaborate with other training entities or other training providers. We collaborate with other trainers. Sometimes what happens, I have like the one I mentioned, the 400 packs. I need to have 8 trainers on ground. That means including me, 7 more trainers. So the collaboration happens with other trainers. So that means the people in my team, some of them are trainers, so I can use them. But if let's say not enough, I have to collaborate outside trainers to bring them into my team. So they become the collaboration. Yeah, so that part is the collaboration.
To handle the client.
To handle the client together with them. Suppliers, not so much, because we tend to source for our own products, source for our own things. So the suppliers is maybe the business people who we buy from. They don't supply us on a consistent flow. We may not need that. Yeah.
So how this partnership support or enhance your business?
Well, the most important, if you look at the most important point of the partnership is the training providers. So if the relationship is good and we are delivering good training, quality training, and we get good feedback, so that means when this is happening, then the support will always happen. That means people, if they are getting good feedback, hey, you know what, Darren and the team was very good, I'm very happy, the best team building we ever had. So what does that mean? So the TP or the trainer becomes very happy. Oh, okay, I want to use Darren more often. So every training they call for Darren. So it's like that lah. So if your support is good, your result is good, you get more.
Yeah.
If the other way works also lah. If you're not good, you're lazy, you're not progressive, then you get less, right? Okay.
So the next question is about cost structure. What major costs are involved in running your business?
I think there will be two. One cost would be, I would say, people, training people. Because why training people is, well, there is always a cost attached to training people. Even though the person come out as a FASI, there is a cost. Why is the cost? The FASI gets paid maybe 100 to 150 a day. So if it's a 3-day program, each FASI takes home about 300 to 450 a day for the whole program. So that's cost. Right, to pay for the FASIs, but that is okay because they are coming to do work anyway, so you need them, right? The other costs I would say that are things like maybe equipment, because equipment. So equipment is to be top up. New equipment need to be buy. We need to fabricate equipment. Fabricate means to say that not all equipments are available in the market. For example, let's say we want to play a game where it involves us to have a little bit of the Quidditch game. You know the Quidditch game from Harry Potter about the 3 hoops? So we need to go and buy equipment to create those 3 hoops lah. It's not like it's ready-made sell in the market. So a lot of fabrication equipment. So we have to buy various kind of equipment and create DIY lah, and create it ourselves. So that is our cost. So the multiple level of cost come from every single part of the equipment has a small cost attached to it lah. That's the cost, right? Equipment and people.
So, which costs are fixed and which fluctuate with the business volume?
Well, the only cost which I have fixed right now is program cost and rental. Program cost means to say that for every program cost we got, there is a fixed value that we have to it. A certain amount of program cost needs to happen lah. We pay for the facilities, we pay for the trainers, we pay for accommodation, we pay for food. The other fixed one would be rental. I have an office. Right, so that means I need to pay rental every month for the office. So the office is for me to do my office work and also to store my equipment. So these are my fixed costs. Yeah, equipment to be stored over there. So it's not so much of a big fixed cost. I don't pay salaries. So there's no fixed cost on salary income. Why? Because everyone comes out with me on a gig system, on a freelance system. So like they are students like yourself, and then weekends they come out. Or they are working people and weekends they come out, or they are freelancers themselves who go out with so many other people including me. So I don't pay them a salary, I only pay them on the fixed cost on their value when they come for programs.
So next, it will be section 3, the problem statement and opportunity recognition.
So the first question will be, what specific customer pain points or market gaps does your business focus on solving, sir?
Okay, I would say that 70% is on soft skills. That means whether they can communicate, whether they can negotiate, whether they can problem solve, whether they can present facts. This would be 70% of the time. And then there'll be a 30% of the time that goes into technical knowledge, which is like, software, IT, technical stuff. So that would be pretty much the pain points and market gaps.
Alright.
So how did you identify this business opportunity?
Like what I mentioned earlier, the business opportunity came by accident when I saw the potential of seeing training happen for people. So that's how I think training is, like what I mentioned, it's almost recession-proof industry, whereby even at the lowest point where companies are not doing well, people still need to be sent for training. So that's why I see this becoming an opportunity for business.
It's a need, like a business need for every company. Next.
Are the market trends or external factors that make this opportunity particularly promising?
Well, the fact that we are supported by the government, that really helps because HRDC is under MOHR. So because of that and because of the 1% levy, that all companies need to pay to the government anyway, this really is an external factor that encourages training to happen. So hence to the point that most organizations, like what I mentioned earlier also, has linked training hours to KPI. Meaning to say that every single staff needs to fulfill a certain amount of hours per year for them to be qualified for bonuses or increments. And because of that, there's also the external factors that encourages training to happen. Yeah.
So for the section 4, which is the SWOT analysis, what do you consider your company's main strength?
My company's main strength is the ability to see the opportunity to solve problems for the customers, to identify gaps in the customer base or to even manage their training need analysis. So this will be our strength, so that we can then provide the solution or the suggestions to remedy the situation. That will be the strengths.
So the second question would be, what internal weaknesses or challenges have you faced, sir?
Well, many internal weaknesses or challenges. I would say that maybe lacking of knowledge on myself or even on others, so we have to always learn. Myself as a trainer, even though I'm running a training business, I myself needs to go for training. I need to attend conferences, I need to go for training myself on skill sets of knowledge that maybe I don't have, so that I consistently can then approach the client and say, hey, have you tried this? I just went for a certification, do you want to do this for your company? So that is the current weaknesses that we need to manage. That meaning say that the knowledge is one thing. The other other part that we need to see is that sometimes it's very difficult to impart to our youngsters or the people in my team about the vision, to see things differently. They say they see it sometimes, but sometimes they don't see it. There are moments where they fall back into the characteristics of me, myself, and I. So that's where the selfishness needs to be approached. For example, the ability to share knowledge, the ability to give more. You see, when you become part of Awesome Tribe, you need to give 110% all the time. We work hard, but we play hard also. Meaning to say that when we go for team building, we really do the job, but at the same time we enjoy maximum. But we must work. That's the first thing.
Hard,
yeah. So hence why those could be some of the weaknesses I see as challenges, because people see, sometimes people don't, and I can't force it to happen. It must happen naturally from you. Yeah. So it happens with most people. It does not happen with some people. So that would be a weakness.
Right, next.
So what external opportunities could your business exploit?
Well, I would say that the opportunities I see is to move into overseas market, because I've done training in most of the countries around the region. I've done training in Thailand, in Cambodia, in Vietnam, in Singapore, in Indonesia, in Brunei, in Papua New Guinea. No one goes to Papua New Guinea, but I've been there. So I see that moving out of Malaysia would be an opportunity that we can exploit, because I noticed that after training overseas, right, I noticed that in Malaysia we actually have an opportunity to go out, because trainers in other countries may not be the trainers from Malaysia, where we are very more well exposed. We are willing to try gamification, simulations, activities, where some trainers in some countries are still very old school. So for example, there's an activity that we call the drum circle, where we actually use drums, djembe drums or African drums, to talk about training. So this activity is very maybe matured in other countries. Malaysia is still new, but when I go to countries like Indonesia and in India, I notice that they don't know, even though their countries have a culture of playing drums, but they don't use drumming as part of training. So we say, hey, why don't you do drum circle? What is that? Drum circle is where everyone gets together in a circle, we play drums and we match each other's rhythm, and people who may not be rhythmic end up becoming rhythmic. So those kind of activities may be new to some people. So this is where we can exploit the overseas market by pushing out Malaysian-made products or Malaysian trainers into the outside market, because I think our trainers are positioned at a very high level among trainers of the world. Because why? Malaysia majority introverts. So for a trainer to come into the class and pull out the learning from people for them to engage, the trainer must be of a certain level. Whereby if you go to Australia, you don't need to pull out learning. You just open your mouth, everybody start talking. Because their country is full of extroverts, so it's different. So Malaysia, the trainer got to work hard. So because of that, we have a different quality. So I think that will be something that we could do as a business opportunity.
Okay, so next question is, what traits of risk do you anticipate in the market environment?
The risk that we normally have, or the threats that we normally have, happens within our own teams as well. You know why? Training business is the only business that we actually train our future competitors. So the people that I train to become trainers one day might say, hey Darren, I've been with you for 10 years. I need to go on my own. So when they go into the market, they become my competitor. So that is a threat. But for me, I approach my threat differently. I say to the market, if this person is going to become my competitor one day, here is my philosophy: train them well. Because why? When they go out and start training on their own, people's going to say, hey, you're very good, huh? Where were you from? Darren. Oh, no wonder. So I also get the good name. But if you go out and do a terrible job, hey, you're terrible, huh? Where are you from? Darren. I also get it. So I might as well train them well. So when they go out, even though they become a competitor to me, at least their competitor was well trained by me. So I still get the respect. And then also,
they will learn what you are teaching.
Exactly. So if that is a threat, then it's a threat because they have the opportunity to become your competitor. But I don't see that as a threat. I see it as a threat, but they can be converted into an opportunity or a collaboration. Because I've worked with people who came from me who are now considered my competitors, but they still give business back to me. Because why? It's a cycle of collaboration. So it's how you think threat is. That's what threat. Well, the main threat is you train people who eventually become your competitors.
Business in business lesson.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Alright, move on to section 5, business model preparation and proposal.
So, why did you decide to develop a formal business model?
Well, I think we all need business models to survive in the market as a business entity. So the business model can be very complicated, it can be very simple. Mine is in between. It's neither very complicated nor it's neither too simple. Whereby I think the business model is a working business model that work with the functionality of making sure things work. So the business model which I have right now has been serving me actively for the past 10 years. Since 2015 when I started Awesome Prep until now. So it's been a good 10 years that Awesome Prep has been existing. So meaning to say that it's working so far and it's expanding. So we need to have a business model. If you don't have a business model, then there is not a business. Even if you sell nasi lemak, you need to have a business model. What kind of nasi lemak are you selling? To whom are you selling to? Where are you based? Everything, even you sell a small business like nasi lemak or even chapati, you need to know the market. You need to go to a place where people is going to buy your product. You cannot go to a taman where it's purely Chinese people 100% and sell chapati. It's not going to work. You got to go to a place where there's a fair share of Indian and Punjabis for them to want to buy chapati because that's their food, isn't it? That's logic. So you need to have a business model. So mine is neither too complicated nor neither too simple. Yeah.
So the next question will be, how will the business model help you in planning, decision making or securing funding?
Well, like what I mentioned, because the business model works for the training industry, so that's how it can actually help me in planning and decision making, no problem, because the business model will then provide me with the platform to want to plan. For example, my business model is 70% working with training providers. So obviously my plan and my strategy is aligned, having good relationship with training providers, having more training providers coming into the business. So that's one of it. The other part is maybe like securing funding. Securing funding is very simple as when you are doing a training, they are paying you for your training. So meaning to say that you mustn't always run on your own money. For example, let's say the program is worth 50,000, example. So 50,000 they owe to you when you're training. So you must be able to secure funding by asking for a deposit. Simple thing like, hey, you know what? We need to collect 20%. So then most companies will agree. Say, oh, okay, yeah, you need money to run the show. So obviously, so you must make plan that way. Sometimes I don't always collect funds, or sometimes if I have enough cash flow, I run on my own. It all depends. So if you have a proper business model, then the funding will make sense. It's like going to the bank and asking for a loan. You need to have a good credit record. You need to be working stable. Then the bank give you loan. If you kerja, which bank gives you a loan? No bank will give you a loan, right? So that's where the decision making and all that helps in the business model.
Alright. So, could you summarize your proposed business plan or next steps?
I would say that in short, the business plan is to maintain what is working, which is to work with training providers. So my next step is to increase my base, both sides. Increase my base on training providers, but increase my base on manpower capabilities. Meaning to say that more of my people need to be able to go out and train effectively well for me to secure more of the training providers coming in. Like if I have a new train, it's like this lah. If I position myself, Darren Suresh has the face of Awesome Tribe all the time. So every training I say, oh Darren. So then the training providers will not be so keen to use other trainers in my team. They say, hey Darren, I want you. So I cannot duplicate myself and go to 2-3 places at the same time, but I can duplicate my team. You see? So I need to make sure whatever business comes in, I must have the team to make sure they can run it, or else it doesn't make sense. Hence, this is a process that's going on now. I'm in the midst of trying to secure more and more people to come into the tribe and be trained so that I can have more and more businesses coming in to serve everyone, or else it doesn't make sense.
So the next is section 6, leadership role challenges. What leadership qualities do you consider most important in your role as a founder or CEO or maybe manager?
Leadership qualities that is very subjective, I think. But if you say what's important to me personally, then number one is to be a visionary, to be able to see the future, to forecast what's going to happen. That's number one. Number two, you must be passionate for people. Meaning say that both sides, people that are in your team and people that are not in your team, who are your participants and your clients and your customers, right? Number three, you must have the ability to have high level of flexibility and adaptiveness. That means be able to adapt to different situations, different moments, different times. So that would be the qualities I see very important to be a founder or a CEO of a company.
How do you motivate and inspire your team to achieve the company goals?
Good question. I was taught a long time ago, the greatest salesman in the world is someone that can sell you his dreams and make you work for it. So what I do is that I don't do that, right? What I do is that I set a goal that, okay, we need to get this amount of training, but I inspire people by telling them that it's your goal as well, meaning say that you are part of it, you are having ownership, you are having accountability, you make the program success. I'm not the only one that makes the program success. So when they see that they have a very critical role to play, they themselves feel inspired to give more, because they feel, oh, it's because of me, it's because of the team that we are all successful. It's not just because of Darren Suresh or because of trainers standing in front, we're all successful, that they're all yawning behind there, but they feel actively involved. So when they feel actively involved, it becomes part of the company. Awesome Tribe is not just about me. Awesome Tribe is about the people. So when the people feel that it's their company and their goals, they act and they behave differently. So that's how we inspire them.
So the next question be, can you describe a challenging decision you made as a leader and how you manage it, sir?
I would say that there have been many, but I remember in 2018 there was a lot of people that was coming into Awesome Tribe, and then suddenly there was a little bit of bickering that was happening in the group, because even in a group like this there are going to be politics, right? So people start talking bad about you behind your back, because maybe they say, oh, you favor this person selalu keluar program, aku tak keluar program banyak. So they have all this, but it didn't happen in front of me, it happened behind me. So I didn't know this was happening until somebody brought it up. Okay, somebody say, hey Darren, you know that this is happening, these few people, they're not happy, and then they're going around saying things. So what I need to do was that it was a big decision. I need to sit them together and I said, look, I heard about these things going on, so how are we going to manage this? So we come to a point where those people would have to leave the tribe, leave the company, or leave me, because I would rather, and the people that left me are the people who are very experienced, been training many years or so. So when it's very painful to let them go because I'm losing a very big asset, but I would rather let them go. You can be the most talented person in my team, but if you have an attitude problem, then you are a virus, you're out. Because why? We do not encourage bickering and politicking and bad mouthing people in our team. You have a problem, sure, because we are human beings. I have a problem with you, you have a problem with me. So sit down, I call it the clearing session. We clear the air. What's the problem? What really happened? Then we talk. Then maybe we break down, we cry together, then everything's settled.
Do you have any counseling guidance like this kind of problems, so we can meet counseling to solve this kind of problem?
Yes, because I'm a trainer, so I'm trained in to use various kind of personality and EQ tools and everything, so I can then use this also within my own team. You know,
At least can solve their problem to not make a big mess.
So that's the challenge of a leader. Sometimes you need to make tough decisions. You need to kick somebody out. You need to
Because
kick
this kind of
somebody.
people, they will go behind and talk about this company also.
But I found out that when I let them go from the company, there's three of them.
But they
I let them go.
performance lah.
They went out. They did something. Macam mana pun pusing-pusing balik ke I. That is why they come back to me and say, "Hey Darren, I'm now in a new company and I want to pass this training to you." Tiba-tiba balik ke I. They were not happy with me, but when they went out into the real world, then they found out that actually working with me was the best thing in the world.
Yes.
When they went out kenal with other people, they baru sedar. It's like your parents are tough on you, and you say, I'm waiting for the time to leave the house. But the minute you leave the house, you find out that life is not so easy. And living with your parents was actually paradise. So then you mature, then you become mature, then you think, betul. Then suddenly, when you argue with your parents, every weekend you see your parents, you argue, to the point that if you don't go back on weekend in the future, you feel so bad because now you want to be closer to your parents. You see what I mean?
Yes.
It's like that lah. So they came back to me and they give me more business, in fact. So that's the way it works.
They made the wrong decision.
Next question.
So how do you balance short-term operational pressure with long-term vision?
Well, short-term operational pressures here would be things like coming up with customized programs, fulfilling clients' objectives, being pressured to deliver what we may not be able to deliver, and then finding a way to deliver it. This is where I think negotiation, how do we settle this, is to have negotiation. In order for you to have long-term vision, you need to have a negotiation. Sometimes some clients, they want to do a one-day program, but they have like 10 objectives they want to see in one day. Then most of these people, sometimes they see, then they tell the client, boleh, then they agree. But then they don't fulfill. So what happens? Then there's pressure from the client, you didn't fulfill. We were not happy, then problem, then you lose business. So what we do is that if they give us 10 things to do in a one-day program, I will be the person that's the most honest to them. I say, look, your 10 things, I can achieve 3 lah. Why? Because this is a one-day program. In a one-day program, it's not practical for you to have 10 objectives. It makes no sense. 3 objectives is good enough, or maybe most 4. You okay with it? Then they start go through what you say is correct. Then they start to be convinced by it. Then that's how you solve short-term pressures, by having better long-term vision. Because you need to be a consultant that's always educating the client, because clients sometimes don't know. They sangkakan keluar satu hari they all suddenly become so good. No, it doesn't happen that way. But sometimes you have to tell the bad news to them. Hey, you know what, like during the pandemic, I remember I went online a lot. So sometimes when we did team building online, we play games online. So the client come and tell me, Darren, your online team building must be just as good as your face-to-face team building. Then I tell them it will never happen. Because online is online. People are disengaged. Face to face, they have no chance. They have to see my face. It's different. Then they start to agree or disagree with you. It's up to them. But end of the day, I think you need to manage the short-term pressures by being practical, by being logical, and then to educate your clients so both of you will have long-term vision.
So, last question is, what strategy do you use to develop leadership skills within inside your company?
Well, because my father was in the Navy when I was growing up, I was always exposed to high level of discipline and the ability to do things hands-on. The discipline is subjective now because I can't be disciplinary inside the team because nobody likes to work with people who are too harsh or too authoritative with them. But what I do, I take the value from my father is the ability to do hands-on. Meaning to say that my team members know that they will be slightly pressured to step in front, to start doing things. So when the leadership skills will automatically get developed when you have exposure and experience. If you shelter them from the world and you say, no, never mind, you just stand behind the IT table, just smile. So what leadership skills are you going to impart to them? You say, no, this is an activity, learn how to do the activity, you are managing the next station. So immediately they have to learn how to communicate, they have to learn how to engage, they have to learn how to talk to people, they have to learn all these skill set, and that's part of how you become a good leader. Because this is the basic that you need to learn. If you keep holding on to them, you shelter them. It's like kids, when they work, when they are in school, it's always good for them to go and work part-time, expose them to the real world a little bit, so that when they come back, they have the experience, they saw what's going on. Then they understand. Like my second boy, when he was waiting for his SPM results, he would say he wanted to work. I said, okay, fine. He went and worked in Bungkus Kau as a crew member. So he worked there, he had to stand the whole day, he was tired, he had to deal with rude customers, bosses who talk nonsense, colleagues who are nice and not nice to you. It matured him. It matured him. So when he comes back, he tell me, Papa,
all are lessons actually.
This one happened, that one happened. So he started to learn. He started to pick up certain skill set because he was exposed. If I keep him in the house, I say, never mind, you just play PS5. No need to go. Papa and Mama will take care of you, give you money, you don't go out. So what leadership skills does that teach them? They can only read books, and you can only learn so much from books. You need to go out there. So the learning concept is this. When my father wanted to teach me how to swim when I was 5 years old, he took me to the swimming pool, he put a life jacket on me, and he threw me in. He just carried me, he said, boy, this is you. That's the swimming pool. Boy, this is you in the swimming pool. That's how my father taught me to swim. And that kind of concept lives inside me forever. So in the sense that if I want to learn something, I go into it. So the same thing I push to my people. If I tell them, what do you want to be inside my tribe? Do you want always to be a FESI, or do you want to be a trainer? No, you know what, I'm doing this because of the FESI work. I may not see myself as a trainer. Okay, but even though you are a FESI, these are the 10 things that you need to learn. Now you're only learning the first thing. So the other 9 you must learn. I don't care whether you want to be a trainer one day, but you need to learn all this. Then they learn. So that develops the leadership skills along the way. Right? If they want to be a trainer, then another 5 things added on to the list. So that's how they push themselves. They learn themselves how to be a leader by me giving them the exposure and pushing them in front. Say, okay, you're a new FESI, you follow this particular FESI, go and do station. They do station, then they learn. Then after 2-3 times coming out with me, how can do or not? I think I can, okay, demonstrate in front of me. Then they start to do, okay, you're on your own. Good. Then suddenly, when they have to manage like 100, 200 people coming to them, that's the greatest lesson ever.
Yes, I can agree.
That's the greatest. That will teach you how to talk.
But still can handle and manage.
Can handle. They won't collapse, don't worry. So that would be, I think, the strategy for leadership for me is consistent experience and exposure.
Alright, so is that all? Any additional questions you want to ask?
Do you have any advice for upcoming generation in your experience?
Well, the strengths of the generation we have today, like you guys, you are the Gen Z, right? The tail end of the Gen Z. The Gen Z's strength is the ability to adapt to new technology, to be very digital, to be able to be moving very freely within technology, and your strength relies on the team association. My advice for the Gen Zs, for the new workforce, you guys are going to join the workforce one day, is to always practice self-awareness of what you know and what you don't know. What you know is what you know. What you don't know is what you don't know. So do you know what you don't know? It's very simple. Do you know what you don't know? Right? So people cannot answer. So what you need to do is to always expose yourself, always have the experience to move forward. Don't create glass ceilings. Don't say, oh, I'm a girl, so I can only do this. Nonsense. A woman can do anything a man can do, and sometimes do it better. I don't have daughters. I have 3 sons, but I educate my 3 sons the same way. I would like, if I have 3 daughters, I'll educate them the same way. I do not restrict anyone. You cannot be restricted by your gender. Women can even become astronauts. It's been proven, right? So why do we restrict ourselves? So for you, you mustn't restrict yourself. Anything, any opportunity, do it. There's I don't know whether you know this guy named Richard Branson. Richard Branson is the founder of the Virgin Group of companies. He's like the Tony Fernandez mentor. So you go and Google him, Richard Branson. I like his way he says things. When someone gives you an opportunity to do something and you don't know how to do, just say yes. Go home, figure out how to do it. Because if you keep pushing away opportunity, I don't know this, I don't know that, then you end up, you only do what you know. Then a lot of things you don't know. But if you keep on taking on things that you do not know how to do and learn how to do, you know, like say now, maybe all of you join me for the next, all of you join me for team building. So then you come. Except for Erica, maybe the rest of you may not have the experience, so you don't know what. You come there, then how? You don't even know how to stand during team building. I tell you, you're going to be so nervous that you like, what to do?
My first time was like this.
What to do? Do I stand here? Do I stand there? But when there's someone to guide you and you don't know how to do it, just do it. After the first team building, see, the baptism of fire happens when you have 400 packs. Crazy people running around. End up, I tell you, you have so much fun seeing them in action. It will. After the team building, when I ask you, how nice? Oh my God, this was so interesting. I get to see immediately in one day the bombardment of content that goes into your head. All the things that you've been learning in college will happen in 8 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
They always ask me how come in class I know a lot of things. This is the main reason why.
You need to expose yourself. Go. Like team building, don't know how to do. Just do. Come. We will teach you. Right? Like or don't like, we teach you. Then next thing you know, you will be addicted to it. When's the next team building? When's the next team building? Because you know, in human resource, your training and development is part under human resource in all organizations. So that's one umbrella, because when you go to HR has so many umbrellas, right? Got recruitment, got staff benefits, got all this, and training and development is one of the umbrellas. So that's another field.
Subjects now.
Yeah, that's the field that maybe one day you have the interest to do as professional trainer. Then you become a trainer in the company, right? So why not? So you have to learn. So that's exposure. So it's not something that you are learning engineering and you're going into something else. No, this is actually part of what you girls are going to be doing. So why not just embrace it and learn as much as you can? Yeah.
Right. So anyone? Any other questions? Shubha? So far, no?
All good?
All good. Alright.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, and thank you to Mr. Darren for coming all the way to MSU to be interviewed. And that's all from us. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay.
Okay, done.
Done.
Happy.
Thank you.